Most people think gardening means waiting months to see results. But what if you could go from planting a seed to eating something you grew yourself in as little as 3 weeks? That's not a stretch, it's completely realistic, and today we're going to show you exactly how. Welcome to Cultiva. In this video, we're covering the fastest growing vegetables you can start from seed right now, even as a total beginner. We'll walk through how to plant each one, how to care for it, and when to harvest, so by the end, you'll know exactly where to start. Let's kick things off with the absolute fastest vegetable you can grow from seed. The radish. Radishes are ready to harvest in just 21 to 30 days, depending on the variety. That's less than a month from seed to plate. For a beginner who has never grown anything before, that quick turnaround is genuinely motivating. You plant the seed, you water it, and almost before you've stopped thinking about it, you have something real to pull out of the ground. Radishes are cool season vegetables, which means they grow best in spring or fall when temperatures are between 50 and 70 degrees Fahrenheit. They don't love intense summer heat, more on that in a moment. To plant radishes, choose a spot with full sun or at least 6 hours of light per day. They grow well in the ground or in containers at least 6 inches deep. Loosen the soil well because radishes are root vegetables and they need loose, well-draining soil to expand without resistance. Sow seeds directly into the soil about half an inch deep and 1 inch apart in rows roughly 6 inches apart. There's no transplanting needed, radishes go straight from the seed packet into the ground. Water consistently to keep the soil moist but not waterlogged. Radishes that dry out between waterings tend to become tough and pithy rather than crisp and juicy. That's the most common beginner mistake with radishes: inconsistent watering. Thin the seedlings once they sprout so plants have about 2 inches of space each. Crowding prevents the roots from sizing up properly. Harvest when the shoulders of the radish push up through the soil's surface and the root is roughly the size of a marble or larger. Pull them promptly. Leaving radishes in the ground too long causes them to become woody and split. For continuous harvests, sow a new small batch every week or two. Radishes are crisp, mildly spicy, and excellent in salads, slaws, or simply eaten with butter and salt. They're also high in vitamin C and folate. Next up is arugula. One of the fastest leafy greens you can grow, and one of the easiest. Arugula reaches baby leaf size in about 18 to 25 days. You can harvest full leaves by 30 days. It has a peppery, slightly nutty flavor that works beautifully in salads, on sandwiches, or as a pizza topping. Like radishes, arugula is a cool season crop. It thrives in spring and fall and bolts, meaning it sends up a flower stalk and turns bitter when summer heat sets in. Keep that in mind and time your planting accordingly. To plant, scatter seeds directly into prepared soil or a container. Arugula can be broadcast sown, meaning you don't need precise spacing, just sprinkle seeds lightly across the surface, press them in gently, and keep the soil moist. Seeds need light to germinate well, so plant them no deeper than a 1/4 inch. Once seedlings are a couple of inches tall, thin them to about 4 to 6 inches apart for the best leaf production. Water regularly, keeping the soil evenly moist. The real advantage of arugula is cut and come again harvesting. Instead of pulling the whole plant, use scissors to snip leaves from the outside of the plant, leaving the center growing point intact. The plant regrows and you can harvest again in another week or two. One planting can feed you multiple times over several weeks. If you want a bowl of mixed greens fast, baby leaf lettuce and mesclun mixes are your best option. Baby lettuce is ready to cut in 25 to 40 days from seed, depending on the variety. Mesclun mixes, which are blends of multiple leaf varieties, often include arugula, mustard greens, and different lettuces, giving you variety right out of one packet. Lettuce prefers cool weather, fertile soil, and consistent moisture. It tolerates partial shade, which actually makes it useful for spots in your garden that don't get full sun all day. Sow seeds directly on the soil surface or just barely covered, no deeper than 1/8 of an inch, because lettuce seeds need light to germinate. Water gently so you don't wash the tiny seeds away. Keep the soil consistently moist during germination, which usually takes about a week. Thin seedlings to around 4 to 6 inches apart. Like arugula, baby lettuce is perfectly suited to cut and come again harvesting. Snip leaves when they reach 3 to 4 inches tall, always leaving the base of the plant to regrow. One practical tip: sow a short row or a small container every 10 to 14 days. This succession planting approach means you always have young plants coming along and you're never stuck with a glut all at once or a gap with nothing ready. Lettuce is mild, hydrating, and packed with vitamins A and K. It's also one of the most satisfying things to grow in a small space. A single container on a balcony can keep you in salad greens for weeks. Spinach takes a little longer but is still firmly in the fast category, with baby leaves ready in around 30 to 45 days. Spinach is a nutritional powerhouse. It's rich in iron, magnesium, folate, and vitamins A and C. And growing your own means you can harvest it at peak freshness, which makes a genuine difference in taste. Spinach is another cool season crop that struggles in heat. Planted in early spring or in late summer for a fall harvest. In warm climates, fall and winter growing is often the sweet spot. Sow seeds about half an inch deep, 2 to 3 inches apart, in rows about a foot apart. Spinach prefers rich, well-draining soil with a neutral pH. It's more sensitive to soil conditions than radishes or arugula, so mixing in some compost before planting pays off. Water regularly and consistently. Thin plants to about 4 to 6 inches apart once they're established. Spinach appreciates a slightly shaded spot during warmer parts of the day if you're planting in shoulder seasons when temperatures can still rise. Harvest the outer leaves first, working your way in just like arugula and lettuce. The plant will keep producing new growth from the center. When the plant starts to send up a flower stalk, harvest everything that's left. At that point, bolting has begun and the remaining leaves will taste bitter. Green onions, also called scallions, are one of the most beginner-friendly crops you can grow, and they fit beautifully in small spaces including window boxes and pots. From seed, scallions are ready to harvest in about 60 days. Some sources note you can start pulling them a little earlier, around 20 to 30 days, for very slender, mild shoots depending on what you're after. If you want full-sized scallions, plan on closer to 60 days, but even the thinnings you remove along the way are completely edible, so nothing goes to waste. Sow seeds about a 1/4 inch deep in well-draining soil, scattering them fairly densely in a row. Thin plants to about an inch or 2 apart once they germinate. Green onions like full sun and consistent moisture. They're not fussy about soil as long as it drains well. Harvest by pulling individual plants at the base or, for a cut-and-come-again approach, snip the green tops above an inch from the soil level and the plant will regrow. Their mild onion flavor works in virtually every savory dish: stir-fries, soups, egg dishes, salads, or as a garnish. One underrated advantage of scallions: they grow vertically and take up almost no horizontal space. A 6-inch pot on a windowsill can produce a steady supply of green onions through multiple harvests. If you're interested in the absolute fastest harvest you can possibly get, microgreens deserve a mention. Microgreens are seedlings harvested at the first true leaf stage, typically 7 to 14 days after sowing. They're not a traditional garden vegetable, but they're grown from seed and they produce a harvest faster than anything else on this list. Sunflower, radish, pea shoots, and broccoli microgreens are among the most popular and easiest for beginners. You don't need a garden for microgreens. A shallow tray on a bright windowsill is all you need. Spread seeds densely over a thin layer of moistened potting mix or even paper towels. Cover lightly, keep moist, and place in a bright spot. Within a week or two, you have nutrient-dense, flavorful greens to snip and add to sandwiches, wraps, or salads. Microgreens are notably high in nutrients for their size. Studies have found they can contain significantly higher concentrations of vitamins and antioxidants than mature leaves of the same plant. Before we wrap up, a few practical principles that tie everything together for beginners. First, start small. Don't try to grow all of these at once your first time. Pick one or two. Radishes and arugula make a great starting pair, and get comfortable with the rhythm of watering, thinning, and harvesting. Once those feel natural, add more. Second, succession plant consistently. The biggest mistake beginners make is sowing everything at once and then having a 2-week window of abundance followed by nothing. Sow small batches every 1 to 2 weeks and you'll always have something coming in. Third, grow in whatever space you have. Every vegetable on this list can be grown in containers. A few pots on a balcony, a patio, or a fire escape is genuinely enough to get started. Don't wait for a perfect garden bed. Fourth, pay attention to seasons. Nearly everything on this list is a cool season crop. They want to grow in spring and fall, not midsummer heat. Aligning your planting with the right season makes everything easier and faster. So let's do a quick recap. The fastest vegetables you can grow from seed as a beginner are radishes, ready in 21 to 30 days, arugula, ready for baby leaves in 18 to 25 days, baby leaf lettuce and mesclun mixes, ready in 25 to 40 days, spinach with baby leaves around 30 to 45 days, green onions, ready in 60 days with edible thinnings along the way, and microgreens. If you want something ready in under 2 weeks with minimal setup. Every single one of these is forgiving, productive in small spaces, and genuinely satisfying to grow. There's a real confidence that comes from planting a seed and harvesting something you grew yourself, and these are the vegetables that give you that feeling the fastest. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these are you going to try first? Leave a comment below. Whether it's radishes, arugula, scallions, or you're going all in on microgreens, let us know. And if this video was helpful, subscribe to Cultiva for more practical planting guides just like this one. We're here every step of the way, from seed to harvest.